Hello my friend, in this episode I'm going to transform this foam sheet into an MQ-9 Reaper RC UAV and fly it. The first one is making the wing. Sand the leading edge and trailing edge of the bottom part of the wing like this. And then glue all the formers and spar. I use lightweight 3mm plywood for the spar and formers. You can also use hard balsa for them. Here I make paper tube for guiding the wing joiner, which is a 1 meter length 10mm carbon tube. Make sure you dry fit the joiner before you secure the formers on the other wing. Here I add 9mm plywood for receiving the screw on the root former. This is how I screw the wing when it's done. And for the wingtip, I use 3mm foam sheet. You need to close the gap on the wing after cutting the ailerons, otherwise the wing will be weak. Prepare the aileron like this. Use extension cable for aileron servo or solder it like this. And then the fuselage. Because all the landing gear struts for this aircraft is very long, I use 10mm carbon tube to extend the length, but still using bicycle wheel spoke wire for the wheel shaft and upper part. Here I begin to build the fuselage from the middle part. Sand the edge like this so it will fit with other part. Here I dry fitting both wings to the fuselage. Puncture the fuselage sides with screws on each wing, so you will know where to put more plywood to receive the screws. I also add paper tube here to guide the wing joiner. And this wire to receive the rear part of the wing. Also add extension cable for aileron servo with Y cable. Here I make score lines for easier bending, and with the help of packing tapes to prevent the foam from breaking when bending. I still use heat gun for soften the foam for easier bending. I use 3mm carbon tube for V-shaped step spar. Sand smooth the leading edge and sand smooth both edges on the elevator. Here I make paper tube to hold the V-step on their position. Just make sure the motor is aligned 90 degrees with the fuselage. Adjust the motor angle if needed. You need to add cable extension for motor cables. Position the ESC on the nose. Here I make the air intake for the turbine engine. Because it doesn't require strength, I use 3mm foam sheet for easier bending.
Camping nggak apa-apa lah ya.
Oh iya.
Gimana?
Because inside the nose there will be battery, camera, ESC and servo, it needs to have strong construction. So I add this plywood to strengthen the joint to the fuselage. I shouldn't do like this. I should build the top nose section separately, not like this. The fuselage is already complete. Wet sand all sharp edges and seams. Use rough grit sandcloth and then smooth it out with medium grit 240 sandpaper. I will cover the model with painted laminating film. Here I prepare to paint the backside of the film. And then use covering iron with medium heat to apply the film to the foam. For the decal, I use printed vinyl stickers. The file for decal also shared along with the plans in A3 size. I paint inside the air intake with black using water-based acrylic paint. Black color to simulate the depth. It will look more scale instead just plain foam. Next, I will show you how I make pylons for carrying ordnance. All bombs and missiles here are made out of unused 2021 calendar paper. I use mica plastic covered with paper masking tape for all hinges. Here I use standard servo for camera rotation. Hellfire missile from paper. And to hold the missiles here, I use 10mm EVA foam. I use elastic thread to help aligning the V-step to the fuselage. Here how I install the prop and the spinner. After attaching the paper spinner, you must balance the prop to have an efficient thrust. Make sure it has small deviation on the tip. And then label each blade like this. try to rotate the motor. Usually it will have quite strong vibration on the fuselage because of unbalanced prop. And then randomly choose the blade or pick the blade that opposite with the spinner seam. Add small amount of hot glue as ballast like this. And then try to hit the throttle again and feel the change of vibration. If it's getting worse, so it's the wrong blade. Just remove the ballast and choose another blade. Now try to add ballast on another blade, and then try it again. If it's getting less vibration, that means that's the chosen one. Add more hot glue until the vibration is gone or smooth it out. The prop is already balanced, and remove the label. Make maintenance hatch just in front of the air intake to manage the servo cables. Here I add nylon thread to hold both landing gear struts so it won't open up when takeoff. The CG is 8 cm on the wing loop. On the first try, the prop is loose, so I need to open up the spinner to tighten the prop screw. My daughter failed to record the first takeoff, so here it is when it flies. And this is the second flight without music. It's very easy to take off because the weight is just 1800 grams including the camera. It also surprisingly very stable, although I use gyro on the aileron. And it's easy to land too. I think in my opinion this project is very success. Finally my channel reached 50k subscribers and thank you for all your support. As promised, I will make video on how I design the model. It will be in 2022. The next video will be part 1 of how I design my model aircraft. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See you in the next episode.